Hey guys, welcome to Vlogtober day 11. The light is just coming on, so I'm sorry if it's kind of like flickering. We are going to another hockey game tonight, and I am going to bring my camera this time because now that I just have like the vibe of the place, I feel like, yeah, I can have my camera there because you know how they said like video cameras aren't allowed and all that, and I'm like, mine can technically video, but it's not a camcorder, so, but I do think it will be okay now that I did the vibe check at the inaugural game last night. We're going back tonight. It is a pink out tonight for like breast cancer awareness, and the hospital is like the sponsor, but I'm not gonna be wearing any pink because I don't have any pink like long sleeves because hockey arenas are cold because there is ice. But we will be doing that tonight, and I am going to get to read in a little bit because I have already done stuff today. I went to Walmart to get my grandma groceries, and then I went to her house, and then I went and got my own groceries. Now, why do I not do it all at the same time? Because like my groceries, they can't just sit in the car when I'm delivering them to her and hanging out at her house for a couple hours. But with the cards yesterday, I do think, yeah, spot on for exactly like the vibe that I wanted to put out there. Yeah, so, oh, and I saw like a handful of people I know, but I don't know if these people would know me. I'm not going to go into specifics of the kind of people that I saw that, like some I'm friends with on Facebook, but it's like back when I got Facebook in 2013, I was just having a ton of people who I went to school with who might be 2 or 3 grades ahead of me, but we've never had a conversation in our lives. And then others were just like friends of friends, or maybe family of people that I had been friends with at one point. So those are all like the connections I saw. But the biggest thing, so they had the anthem, and usually before the anthem they're like, okay, for example, my dad saw Zendaya do the anthem before, and they were like, Zendaya is singing the national anthem, like the announcer guy does that. So they didn't announce it, like the lady just came out and started singing. So I'm high up, I'm in upper deck, I can't tell who it is. It was the mayor. Like, the mayor went off. Like, who knew that she had that in her? Like, I was just kind of shook. Like, I've never seen a politician, which in our city, being mayor is a part-time job because she's also a pastor, preacher. I don't know exactly what word she uses for that, but like, the mayor did the anthem. That is just so crazy to me. So shout out to her for being like so talented that, she can do all this stuff. That's awesome. But I am going to do our mystical morning. We are, going to do feelings is our first tab, and broke the lead on my pencil. Health and thoughts. So my nose is kind of running because we're having a nor'easter, I think is what they're called right now. So it is cold because, like, as you can see, I am in layers right now. I'm in my jeans because I just got home, and I'm gonna eat after I film this clip. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have a snack right now and then eat a bigger meal at 4, but it is cold. It is 61 degrees is what my computer says, but it also has the moon up, so I think that's technically from last night. But that is the vibe that we're having today. As I said, we will read today. We might read a short story. It just depends. Yeah, I actually don't think I'm going to be able to get to a short story, but tomorrow I'm going to have a lot of time to for reading, when like these past 2 days I haven't had that much. But let's see, the card for feelings, we're going to do this card right here. Let's shuffle them a little bit more. Card for health. And we just need one more card for thoughts. Should be this card right here. Set aside the cards that we're not using. So for feelings, why do we keep getting the Keeper of Vision? So we're still going to be stunting on the hose tonight. Like, this is like the third time this week that I have gotten this card. If you don't know, this translates to the King of Cups. Like, I had never drawn this card before this week, and this is now the third time that I've drawn it. So again, what does the King of Visions mean, or the Keeper of Visions? It means emotionally balanced, compassionate, and diplomatic. And I think those, being compassionate, being diplomatic, our world needs so much of that. So that's always great when you can put that out into this world. So I am totally a-okay with having that as my card. Now let's see for health. We have, okay, the Keeper of Boons, which we have also drawn. I don't know if that was yesterday. Yeah, where's the card that I crumbled up from yesterday? Because I'm like, did I just get all the same cards? Okay, no, I didn't. But I have had the Keeper. I had the Keeper of Boons the other day. So he has his little badger. What is that in his hand? Like a warm cup, because, you know, warm water, warm drinks are really healthy, especially this time of year. And then like all these like crystals and rocks that he has there. So the Keeper of Boons, which is the King of Pentacles, if you were not aware, and if you want like the definition of what does that mean: wealth, business, leadership, security, discipline, and abundance. So we're being really disciplined with ourselves, health-wise, you know, doing what is right for us and not being excessive, that kind of thing, which is great. We're taking, like, I feel like we're just gripping it by the balls. Sorry for being vulgar. I don't know how else to phrase that. So we're getting that grip on it, and we are just taking control, because we see business and leadership as well. And obviously if we do all that, we're taking care of ourselves. We're going to gain wealth from that, and that can be wealth in, you know, being healthy. And obviously that's what we want. Who doesn't want to be healthy? Like, I'm really questioning if you don't want to be healthy. But this was also a card I've never drawn before, and I've drawn it twice this week. And let's go with our last card, which is Thoughts. And this is a kind of an interesting card. It's really pretty. We had the Eight of Visions. So we see, this almost looks like the stages of life, because these girls in the back look young. They, with the braided hair, if you don't know, historically, in the West, and I can't say for every kind of culture, but young, unmarried, so maiden women would have their hair up. And then it would be the, once you get married, once you lose your virginity, you would have your hair down. I could be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure. But now I'm questioning, was that right? But okay, so then some of these women look ghostly to me. Like, they look like you can kind of see through them. But then we have kind of a middle-aged woman and then an older woman at the front. So all different kinds of women. So the Eight of Visions means the Eight of Cups. And I don't think I've drawn this card before, so I'm going to do some research to see if I have. Okay, this card isn't what I thought it would mean, but seeing by the picture, I do think it makes sense. So in the upright manner, the Eight of Visions, or the Eight of Cups, means disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, and escapism. And I do think you can kind of tell by the card, you can see where that is coming from, that the illustrator was trying to portray. But yes, definitely I can see where this is in my thoughts, because I'm just so emotionally drained and, you know, trying to please everybody, that it's a lot for me, because I'm not wanting to disappoint people, I'm not wanting to hurt people, and it's like just so much in a lot of different areas. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to take a nap, but it's like, you know, mentally. So I can definitely see where this is leading. And that's like with my phone. Y'all know I had cut out Facebook about a month ago. Yeah, I think today has been exactly a month where I check Facebook 2 times a day, and that's something that I want to implement across all social media, where I just check maybe once or twice a day, you know, in the morning and at night, just to see what's going on in the world. Because yeah, I have no idea what's going on in my community. without Facebook. I have the 911 website, you know, that is like the scanner website, so I do see stuff on there, but like, yeah, I don't really know anything that's going on, but you know, ignorance is bliss, I guess. But especially with something like Facebook, where that is just something that I would like to implement into my life. So I guess that's the escapism. So I don't know what website we're gonna add next. Maybe Instagram. We're gonna have to see. I think Instagram would be next alphabetically, where I only check twice a day. And people are like, how do you do that? I don't know, but I think it's good. I feel a lot better. I focus on my reading, my writing, going on walks, being out in nature. Like, we weren't made to be on these things all the time. Like, these things, I mean, obviously I remember life before iPhones. Like, I got this in like 2010, not the same one, you know? And even back then it was just so much harder because like the Wi-Fi and internet wasn't what it is now. And I just always find myself more nostalgic towards those time periods of, you know, the 80s, or not the 80s, but like nostalgic towards the past, you know, of before all of that. So it's like, is that why? It's because we weren't on the screen all the time? I don't know, and I say this as somebody who is currently making a video for YouTube. But I don't cut out like YouTube or stuff like that because, I mean, I think videos, I mean, they're, you know, they're safe spaces. I'm not like, these are diary entries essentially for me. So yeah, good TED Talk. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, or no, I'm gonna have a snack and then eat lunch at 4. Because I want to be closer to the game time, because I didn't see any nachos. I'm going to see maybe tonight if I can find some nachos, because I am going to be in a different section on the opposite side of the arena. Hey guys, I have my book of the month package. I actually got it the other day and just haven't got around to opening it because I wanted to do it in a vlog, and now seems like the perfect time since I'm only going to get like 30 some pages read today. And also my dad is raging in the background because he ordered Domino's literally an hour and 20 minutes ago. And it hasn't got here, and it'll say it's 1 minute away, and then we'll jump back and say it's 15 minutes away. Like, I don't know. So we have my books. They are here to be opened. Again, I've really been struggling with the selections that Book of the Month has been choosing. It's just nothing is really, you know, I'm like, oh, this, I really want this. This sounds amazing. But the add-ons from past selections from years ago is why I'm still intrigued. And always I think the add-ons have seemed better. Like, I literally wait to see people's reviews on TikTok of some of the books, and then I'm like, okay, that sounds good, and add it a month later. Oh, fudge. I was gonna say fudge like my dad does, but I'm like, that's really stupid because I put the ink on the bottom. Okay. There we go. This is the one that I chose, and yes, I'm aware I'm gonna begin ink on my jeans, but Book of the Month had like a fall festival thing in Aspen where they had authors and creators. So Brady, who's one of my favorites that I follow and who is one of the TikTok recs I get, she was invited to the event, and so the creators were able to pick their books early, their October books early, but she couldn't say what it was, but she's like, this one is so funny. I'm loving it. Like, totally didn't expect to. So I was so curious which one it was going to be because we have similar taste. And sure enough, it is the one that I got because, you know, when October came around, she was able to announce it. And that is The 10-Year Affair by Erin Solmers. This has like a different kind of glossy texture, which you don't really see with Book of the Month that much. So The 10-Year Affair is a witty, emotionally charged exploration of marriage, family life, and the roads not taken that ultimately ask, do we really want our fantasies to come true? They are fantasies for a reason, right? Next, this is the one that I am seeing everywhere that I really debated getting last month, but didn't end up biting the bullet and doing it. That is All the Way to the River by Elizabeth Gilbert, Love, Loss, and Liberation. This is like her memoir, a new memoir anyway. It says in her first, it's stuck, okay. Oh, I love that pink. I love that pink. In her first nonfiction book in a decade, the writer who taught millions of readers to live authentically and creatively shows how to break free. Yeah, sometimes we need that. And lastly, Empower the Dog. The word hacienda kept getting said. The book takes place mainly in Mexico. And I really have seen a lot of people reading from this author for the spooky season because she's a horror writer. And I was like, okay, all of her books intrigue me, but this is the one that I'm going to go with. I don't know, this one was the oldest of the 3 that you're able to choose from. I don't know if she only has 3 books, but I got The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. Horror, like historical, maybe vampires. Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca in this debut supernatural suspense novel set in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence about a remote house, a sinister haunting, and the woman pulled into their clutches. So perfect for this time of year. Almost forgot to show all the bookmarks. It just says book of the month and it says You Paged from Ella E, who lives, this is, I've never seen this kind of address, Fairchild Air Force Base in Washington, who's been a member since 2024. Super cool. It's almost time for me to get ready, but I read 45 pages and here getting me to 12% into the book, and I want to, you know, go over the notes that I took so far, which not really that many today because because during the 3 o'clock hour, I was so tired because it's really rainy here and I was tired. And I read 10 pages and was like, I'm gonna take a nap. And so I told myself I'd read 10 pages in the 4 o'clock hour, then 10 pages in the 5 o'clock hour, and that will get me to where I want to get with my reading for the day. And it did. So it was kind of, so some of these notes were just me writing down, okay, this is what happened in this sitting. So I have an understanding when I come back to it, since usually I would read it all in one sitting, but today I just wasn't feeling it. But the occult vibes, I am really liking those so far because it is kind of, so our Juan is basically a medium, and that means he can see the dead. I don't necessarily know if he can speak to them or anything like that, but he can see the dead. So he's gone to out to the country. He's left Buenos Aires to go out to the country to see he says half-sister-in-law, which basically she was his wife's half-sister, and that is Tali. So Tali, she's like, I'm not a mere river witch. You know, so there's a lot more to her than meets the eye. And when we meet her, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really liking these occult vibes. This is really intriguing just to see. Because they were like speaking like telepathically, I think is when other people, she's like, I don't know if other people can hear or not, and if they do, it probably sounds like a foreign language. Like, I'm just really liking the magic system and everything. That's been really intriguing. So then this quote from page 36, oh, but falling in love has nothing to do with beauty. I thought that was a beautiful quote, and that is something that I think a lot of people don't realize. I didn't realize it till this year that, well, all what you look like at the end of the day doesn't really matter. I mean, you always hear like, don't judge a book by its cover, even though this is a great cover. It's the inside what counts. Like, sure, you hear that all your life, but it's making yourself believe that. So I did like that quote. But yeah, so Juan is having issues. As I said, he is a medium, and we have Rosario, who is his wife. So her family wants him to relinquish his powers, so it passes on to his son, who, you know, is also connected to Rosario's family and her mother's family. So this family is called the Order. And so Tali is technically still part of the Order, but since she was like, you know, half, you know, they don't share the same mother. That's why he's like more trusting of her. But Juan is having all these trust issues because he thinks that the Order killed Rosario, and then he is scared that they can't really kill him because he has to relinquish the powers to Jasper. But he doesn't know what to do with Jasper because he wants to keep them away from Rosario's family. But he's like, I can't give him to Tali because Tali is still technically a part of the Order. So this is just his father trying to find out how to protect his son so his son doesn't have to go through all the trauma and terrible things physically and mentally that he's been through. So I think Juan's going to be a really interesting character. As I said, he's not likable, but just seeing his powers, and again, by the synopsis of this book, I had no idea that Juan had any powers whatsoever. Like, I was not expecting that. So to see that, it's just like, oh, this, you know, it wasn't really talked about that much. So I'm really curious of what his backstory is and how he got connected to all of this and to this family. But that's all for now. The rest of the vlog's going to be the hockey game. Check, fit, check, fit, check. The jacket wasn't originally part of the plan, but it's raining. So my jacket's for any Melville. My top is Amazon, has like a boat neck, but since I was leaning, it's kind of awkward looking. Target, Abercrombie, and Amazon for the shoes.